I think it's just, people just are not aware. It's just not aware. We are not allowed to advertise as a federal agency, and so the work that we do sometimes goes uncommunicated to the public. So we have to work really hard to make sure that we're engaging the public in a way that they understand the full gamut, the full scope of the work that we do at NASA. It's a really difficult thing when you can't advertise. Yeah, I really kind of talk about the importance of what we do at NASA to everyday life. So, I try to bring it home to them in ways that they can actually understand, and things that I know that they experience on a day-to-day basis, like cars driving and getting into these horrible, horrible car accidents, and the technology that we had to develop for the jaws of life. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's the jaws, the cutters that they use when there's a horrible accident and people the car is mangled up and someone's trapped inside. They can actually take those cutters and they can cut the top off of the vehicle to extract the person and save lives. And so when you can actually bring it home and show them technologies and capabilities that came from the investment in space in ways that they had no idea, they're like, wow, I had no idea that we were getting all of this return on that little tiny investment. Because in the United States, the budget for NASA is teeny tiny in terms of the total budget. It's like 1% of the budget. And with just that little bit of money, we do all of the work that we have been bringing to the table and the things that you saw in my presentation today. So it's amazing what we can do with just a little bit of money. No, actually, when I was young, I was a high school student, and actually I was a college student, and the first year of my college internship, as a part of my scholarship, they required us to come do a summer internship at a NASA facility. And so I was a lifeguard, hanging out with my friends at the beach and all of that. And so when they said you have a physics assignment, I was like, physics? Why in the world? What would I want to do in physics? I said, okay, I always look for the silver lining in every cloud, so I'm going to make this a positive thing. So I went in, and as soon as I get there, they have this neon sign on the door that says danger, laser hazard. And I was like, And so then they open the door and they say, don't lean down to the level of the table because there are stray laser lights going around the room, and if you bend down into it, it can pop your eye and you'll be blind forever. And I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But then when I go inside, the guy's working on the laser table, he's leaning over, and this is when they had the white lab suits that were big sleeves, and his sleeve got caught in the laser beam. So I hear pop, 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 and smoke, and I was like, yes, this is the field for me. I was kind of tomboy at the time. It's like, you get to shoot lasers around the room and put holes and stuff. This sounds really cool. And that whole summer, I got a chance to see that no day is ever the same. You're paid as an engineer to just think and to create something from nothing. And for me, that was really exciting. You're not put into a little box, and you're able to work from anywhere because you're creating. And it brought it all to life for me. Oh yes. Every time I have the opportunity to talk about it, I love to talk about your Hamilton College, because it is amazing how here in Australia, you're starting from the grassroots and building up. It's not one of those things that's kind of pushed down on the country from above, where you have this huge agency that says, this is what we're going to do and everybody get in line. It has really started from grassroots. So you have this school that is really young kids, but they actually have a Mars environment, a simulated Mars environment, where they have the dirt and they have the kids wearing the full spacesuits with the lights on the helmet and able to send a command. The kids are there working, and the director sent a command to say there's a change in temperature in one astronaut's suit. Figure out what's going on with it. And the kids are moving around saying, well, is it that her body temperature is actually elevated, or is there a problem with the suit, or is there something else with our system that's wrong? And for kids to get that kind of experience as early as they do, we don't even have that in the United States. We don't have a school that's focused on space. And so to see that here is remarkable, because you guys would be heads and tails ahead of other nations that try to put together a space capability. So one of the things that I always talk to kids about is just making sure that you are not afraid to ask the difficult questions. There is no concept in this world. I started my career designing and building laser systems for remote sensing of the atmosphere. Sounds kind of complicated, But I can tell you I've taken all of the math classes that are out there to take. I've taken the physics classes and everything else. And I can tell you that there's not even one single concept that's not too difficult for even a third grader to understand. I've explained how lasers work to third graders, and they've been able to explain it to their teachers and to their parents when they get home. It's just a matter of asking the questions, because one concept builds on another. If you don't get it, ask the teacher to go back and explain it a different way. And if that person can't explain it a different way, go to someone else. Because once you get it explained the right way, the light goes off in your mind and you start putting all these different pieces together and you understand it. And then you build on it with the next concept. So just know there's nothing too difficult for a third grader to get. You just have to ask the right questions. Yeah, I'm really excited about configurable constellations, like I talked about in my presentation, to be able to have a swarm of small sats that start out with one particular mission, and you can send a command up to them and have them to totally, it's like transformers in space, and have them to kind of reconfigure themselves to take a totally different measurement someplace else. That kind of capability is not too far away from us. We're going to be able to do that kind of thing really soon, and it's going to revolutionize the way that we do things.